top of the morning to you this day. It's a beautiful day, a bright one for that matter. And I'm sure you guys are up and good. You're up to embrace the challenges that the day may actually bring to you, as well as to catch on the benefits that are embedded in the day, because every day is a blessing to us. So we thank God for life today. Now, prior to now, I have sent you a voice note as well as a text on the topic market structure. And I want to believe you have perused and you have assimilated all information that I have put into it. For those of you that haven't done that, I want to say quickly go and get your notes, read through, digest it. After 20-30 minutes, let us come back and have a wonderful session. I've missed you guys, I must confess. I've missed your lovely faces. And for those of you that have missed me as well, I would just like to show you a picture of myself. Yeah, I'm still my humble self, Mr. Nii, and I'm here at your service to do justice to the topic market structure. Are we together? Yeah, so let us roll this morning. Now, the topic market structure, like it says, a structure is something that shows the interconnectivity between so many aspects. Now, market structure we have, as it has been put out to you. I took my time to actually put this out because I know it will be helpful to you, and I want you to have a proper look at it. On the left hand side, you have markets that can be classified in accordance with the number of participants, or you can see in terms of the price in the market. Then you also have market that can be classified in accordance with the goods sold in the market. Is that taken? Then you also have downward, you have the subdivision of the market according to participants. You have the perfect, the imperfect, and you have under the imperfect the subdivision as well. Now let us go on. When we talk about a market, the other day you told me that a market is a place, and I said yes, a market is a place where buyers and sellers meet. But we must also know that market is not limited just to a place. Rather, a market, we can say, is an arrangement, and you are going to see that this morning. Now, the picture that will be coming forth after this will be the picture of a buyer and seller that are reaching themselves via a virtual network. And you can see someone wants to buy online and another person is selling online at the same time. Then also a market is an arrangement that brings the buyer and the seller into close contact in order to exchange goods and services. Is that taken? So market is not just a place, it is an arrangement. And you can see also someone wants to buy something via online using his debit card. Most of you, your parents must have also carried out this transaction. So I want us to have that at the back of our mind, that market is an arrangement that brings the buyer and the seller into close contact. Now let us do a proper justice to the diagram I have taken my time to put out for you. Now when we talk about market according to the number of participants, now this market is further divided into two aspects, and I have what? The perfect market and the imperfect market. Now when we talk about a perfect market, like I said earlier on, perfect market does not mean that everything is perfect in terms of the normal word of perfection, but rather we are saying that what? The price in that very market is not influenced by the number of buyer or the number of sellers. Is that taken? So a perfect market is a market in which the number of buyers and sellers does not influence the price of the commodity. Now an imperfect market is a market whereby the number of the buyers or the number of the sellers can influence the price of the commodity. I will come again. The number of buyers or seller can influence the price of the commodity in an imperfect market. That is, when the buyer are more than the seller, there will be fewer goods to sell in the market. And what will happen to demand? Demand will go up. But when the number of suppliers are more than the number of the buyers, so it means that the power is in the hand of the buyer to what? To force down the price of the commodity, and you have the subdivision of it. Now, quickly, let me also look at market according to goods sold in them. Now, in the goods sold to them, you have the factor market, you have the capital market, you have the labor market, you have the stock exchange market, you have the money market, you also have the capital goods market, you have the foreign exchange market, and you have the consumer goods market. Now, those are what we are looking for in today's topic. Now, but I will do justice to that of the goods sold later on, but let me quickly focus on that of the perfect and the imperfect. Now, a perfect market, like you can see in this place, has what? Large number of buyers, and it also have what? Large number of sellers. So in this kind of market, nobody can influence the price. Everybody knows what goes on in the market. So quickly, I will say the features of a perfect market, like I said earlier on in the voice note, is that number one, it has large number of buyers and large number of what? Sellers. Number two, there is free flow of information in the market. As you can see in this place, everyone knows what goes around in the market, so nobody can catch on the other person's ignorance to force a higher price. Then number three, you can leave the market anytime and you can enter into the market at any other time. So these are the feature of a perfect market. When we talk about an imperfect market, the diagram here shows what an imperfect market is. The features. Number one, there are barriers to entry and there are barriers to exit. Number two, you have any factor that makes it hard for a new firm to enter into the market. So it means that there are certain factors that we put in place that will not enable somebody to easily enter into the market. Like, take for example, you cannot just start the exploration of oil in Nigeria. No, you need license. So it is not a market you can easily enter like that or get out of it at any point in time. Then the examples of imperfect markets, you have the monopolistic competition, you have the oligopoly, you have oligopsony, you have the monopoly, and you also have the monopsony. Is that taken? So this is an imperfect market. Then another feature of an imperfect market is that what? An imperfect market, the goods sold in them are heterogeneous. They are not the same. Is that taken? Then another feature of an imperfect market is that what? In an imperfect market, there is no free flow of information. No, the buyers and the sellers don't know all that goes on in the market, right? Yeah. So now, one of the example of an imperfect market is monopoly. A monopoly is a single seller of a commodity without close substitute. Another example is oligopsony. Is that taken? Oligopsony is when you have fewer buyers, many buyers but fewer sellers. Then you also have the monopolistic competition as well. So these are the examples of an imperfect market. So let me now move on to the other aspect that talks about market according to goods sold in them. Now, I talk about the factor market. What is a factor market? A factor market is a market where you can easily buy factors of production. Major example is a labor market. Then we have a capital market. A capital market is a market where you can get long-term loans. You need money on a long-term basis. You want to borrow or you want to lend on a long-term basis. And I told you long-term start from 1 year and above. you go to the capital market. Then we also have the stock exchange market. The stock exchange market is a market where you buy securities, your shares, debenture, GIT, and the rest like that. Then for money market is a market that deals in short-term securities. You want money on a short-term basis, you go to the money market. Is that taken? Then we also have the foreign exchange market. It is a market where you can buy and sell foreign currency. You want to buy dollar, you want to sell dollar, you want to buy pounds, you go to the foreign exchange market. Then the consumer goods market. A consumer goods market is a market whereby you do what? You can get consumer goods. Is that taken? So I believe that with all this explanation, you must have gotten all that is needed. Believe me, you don't need so much. It has been put together for you. So I want to say thank you for your time. It was really a wonderful session with you guys. And I believe that in subsequent classes, you are going to enjoy it. Kindly subscribe and we move on and continue in our learning during this period of lockdown. So, bye. Till we meet in our next class.